Good evening. I thought I would do another one of my little video sound clips about some of the painting techniques I've been using with my ancient figures, but I think would probably be equally applicable to other scales of figures, and share some ideas about colour tones I've been using, together with some books that I'm looking at using with my Roman Dacian collection. And just have a look at some of the figures I've been using, particularly the new range of, newish range of plastics from Victrix, namely their Roman early Imperials. So if I start with the Roman Imperials first off, let's see if I can show you some of these chaps close up. There's the Optio there with his peculiar cane and feathered helmet, alongside the Legionaries in the range. These are their, I guess, marching pose, or standing pose. I put Peter at the back and drawn Gladius to the front ranks. If I just swing those around, I'm of the school that I'm rather erring towards my Legionaries having undyed tunics, with the officers, if you like, and the non-commissioned officers, the Optio there, wearing in red. And just swing that around in my hand. You can see the details there on the gladius scabbards and behind the shields. Really lovely figures these, they are superb. Really enjoyed putting them together. Plastics gives such a scope for scratch building and messing around with, which I haven't really done with these, but I'm already thinking of ideas about how I can utilise different heads and mess around with arms and stuff to come up with some options of my own. And I think they compare really well in terms of size and scale with the Dacians from Wargames. I'll show you some of these up close. So these are the Warlord Dacians in very dynamic charging poses. As I mentioned in my post, very muscular looking figures, but yeah, I quite like them. I'm going to change. There's certainly some good data to suggest that a lot of Dacian infantry were using the gladius, the short sword themselves, and that's where, you know, scratch building with plastics comes in. I'm going to add some gladius wielding arms to some of my Dacian barbarians, just to give that mixture in there. But as you can see, scale wise, let's just tilt that down, they match in really well. So I'm looking forward to putting these two collections out on the table. So I was going to talk a little bit about doing flesh, because I think, like painting white, flesh can be a bit of a scary proposition, especially when you've got to paint mounds of it. And I did take some time to think about how I wanted to do my flesh on, as you can see, my barbarians, but also with the Romans. These plastics from Victrix have got very well defined muscle outlines on the backs of the calf muscles there, as you can see. The exposed arms and the kneecaps and the fronts of the shin bones. And you know, you really want to be looking to try and pick some of that detail out, but I didn't want it to be shockingly picked out, thinking these guys are going to be out in the open a lot more than modern man would be today, and so therefore they were probably more likely to be picking up a tan to go with their outdoor lifestyle. So in the end I settled for doing these as my three colour tones, starting with a base coat of orange brown Vallejo. Then I'm doing a shade up, mixing 50-50 medium flesh with orange brown for the next shade up. Then I'm doing medium flesh mixed with flat flesh as my top coat, and that seems to get a really nice gradation. I mean, you can really go to town on flesh colours, and you know, some of the serious modelers will mix up several shades to sort of graduate it even more so. I'm a wargamer and I paint to wargame, so my figures need to look nice, but they don't need to be there for display cabinets specifically. So that's the colours I settled on. The other one I've highlighted as well is the use of German camo black brown, which I'm now using as my preferred colour for doing eyes. So I will do a base of brown over the eye socket, then do something like ivory for the whites of the eyes, and then go for the pupil with the German camo brown. It seems to give a really nice eye definition, so that's another one I've been using as well. I've also just highlighted some of the books that have sort of provided a bit of inspiration for what I'm doing with my Romans and Dacians. Rado Old Teens book there on the left of as I'm looking at it, the Dacian Roman Wars Volume 1, Sarmagatouza, is an inspirational read. As you can see on the front cover, there's some really lovely artwork there, and Radu has sort of pulled together all the archaeology, aerial photographs, pictures of the sites as they are today, the archaeology that's been shown about the Dacians. We've got so much or very little to go on from the text that we're needing archaeology to shed more light on how the campaign itself was fought and where the actions might have occurred. The Hail Caesar Roman Dacian Wars book is obviously something that I think, if you're going to do this for a campaign, which I want to do some campaign games, is a really good, again, inspirational read, because it gives you loads of ideas about scenarios. It's probably the best one, I think, probably of the three. They've done the Roman Dacians, Britannia and Germania. It's a really good one. Really enjoyed reading it. And then I got rather fed up with looking at pictures on the net and trying to grab various sources to work on my Romans. So I invested in Roman Legions colour photographs with all the various reenactment groups. These guys spend a lot of time trying to get their kit right, and when it comes to looking at variations on Roman Pugio dagger scabbards and the way the gladius scabbards would have appeared, if you have a look at the way these guys have modelled their replicas, it gives you a really, really good idea on what you should be trying to capture. Likewise, the thing with the instruments, musical instruments, when it comes to doing Roman musicians, books like the Roman Legions colour photographs give some really good ideas on what those would look like as well. So there we are. That's the start of my new collection of figures for the Romano Dacians. More to come on that, and I hope you found that interesting. Thank you.